What's up, y'all? This is Hussein from My Geometry, bringing you a new episode early in the morning because that's the only time I can record. Alright, so from this hat, you can tell that we're gonna continue with our VB.NET programming episodes. Alright, so the last one we spoke about. What did we speak about? We spoke about methods, right? We spoke about I forgot what we spoke about. I know what we're gonna talk about today. Oh, there you go. We did methods. We did modular class variable. So yeah, we introduced the concept of we enriched our pizza class with stuff, right? So you can add cheese, add onion, add meat, add chicken, and we can calculate the price, right? So, but what we did is that we did that within the form load procedure. So when I run that, the first thing that get executed is this piece of code, and we get like a boring message box that says it costs $5.6 to do that, right? Now, today, I'm gonna make this thing interesting finally. I know you've been waiting for this. We're gonna introduce controls. We're gonna put stuff here so people can interact with it. This is boring. Nobody can do this. Only developers can reference your class and use it, but we want people, to order the pizza. We want like add stuff here, buttons and text boxes and stuff like that. How do we do that? This is called user control. So this episode purely introduce user controls and stuff gonna spawn from that. All right. So before I go and explain what a user control, I want to talk about scope. I did mention the scope in the variable in the previous episode. Like what is a scope? So each variable, when you declare a variable, okay, it gets its own scope. All right. So we know that there are something called methods, which are and closing, brackets that these are segments, and this segment has a method, and this method has its own variable. So for example, let's talk about this add cheese method. So when I declare a variable here called C as a string, right, and I tried, forget about this now, this green line, that's because you didn't set any value. It said just, hey, don't forget to it's unused, try to use it. This you can run without that, it's all right. But what I want to know is that when I want to use this variable, like C equal cheese equal brie, right? So when I set that, I have used this variable within the same scope, right? So I am with think of this as okay, think of this as a cottage, like a house, a hut, right? Like Pizza Hut, hut, right? And these are people inside the hut. So only people inside the hut can see, you know, can see each other, right? So this variable C. If I am in another method, in another hut, and I try to use this variable C, right? So obviously, and I did C equal, god damn it, it's not allowing me because of course obviously you can't do that, but let's force it. So see, when I try to do that, I try to compile, right click, build. Say C is not declared. It may be inaccessible due to its protection value level. What does that mean? That means it says, I don't know what this variable is. You didn't declare it within the same scope. so it doesn't see it. All right. But if you go up and declare a variable up there, like you can't obviously say dim. See, this class level variable, so I don't have a method, I have a class, and then directly you say dim h as a string. I think you can do that. Okay, so now h is overseeing all methods. So in every method, you can see h because it's directly above all of them. That's what she said. Okay, so h is equal to, I can do Jucha. Says no error. Right click, build, no error. Says, hey, fine, you're fine. H, that's for h. That's a private variable. By the way, by default, a variable is private when you declare it within this class. We talked about this variable, and that's why we were able to access these variables, right? But I didn't explain it right, So these variables, or that we declare in the modular class level up there, I was able to access them within each function. This is important, okay? And you have to know that, right? So because we're gonna work with this now, okay? Because we're gonna have different methods, and these methods have to talk with single variable. What do? Is basically declare one variable within the modular level, and everybody can see it. Okay, there is an even universal concept called global variables, which are really bad. These are not only the class methods can see it, but other classes of other methods can see it and modify it. This back then VB6 you can't do that. Just say global x equal, and you can see it everywhere. And this is this is a nice escape for developers. We used to do it. I used to do it. It's it's okay, all right. It makes your development really easy, but debugging really bad. Why? Because if you have like 1,000 classes here, okay, that's a lot of classes. But let's say if you have like 1,000 of classes, and you have one global variables, and you have no clue which class modified. Are we recording? Yes. Uh, you have no clue which class modifies this variable, you're screwed, because you can't debug. You cannot know what went wrong. But if you control this, like methods in this class can only modify this, now you know. Okay, you say, okay, I fucked up somewhere here. I didn't fuck up somewhere else. So yeah, right. That's really important, guys. Just to let you know, right? Private variables, we talk about public variables, and we talk about scope, who can access what, right? And I told you I like to add an underscore to present that this is a modular private variable within the same class, so nobody else touch it. That's the idea. All right, let's go back. So we talked about that. Let's talk about user interface. So why do you need a user interface? So some of the maybe developer tutorials that or maybe books that you read doesn't usually start with user interface to teach you programming. I like to do things different, because this is how I learned programming. My uncle gave me a book. So how did he know I was interested in programming? I didn't know, and he obviously. I think I went to his home when I was like 15, and I saw him write a bunch of codes, and I told him, "What's that?" He told me, "This is programming. This is so you can tell the machine to do whatever you want." Says, I always thought that the machine or the computer is already told what it does. You cannot do anything else with it. The computers comes with these programs. That's it. I was a kid, but back then he said, "Told me, no, you can write your own program to tell the computer to do exactly what you want." whatever you want. And that gives me some kind of control, So he gave me this book called Visual Basic 5. It's a book that I still keep, and it's very dear to me, really, because he gave it to me, and this is how I learned programming. This guy, I don't know about the author, but I learned he actually the Windows that he used was Windows 3.1. I didn't have it. I have Windows 95, but I got the idea, I was able to write a clock. He teaches how to write a clock, but all it was visual, and I learned it very quickly. I learned programming, so why not? Why do we have to teach the bits and pieces or from boring consoles? We can always go back to that. So this is how I learned programming. So I'd like to explain it the same way I learned it. And I think when I was 15, I mean, I learned that, so anybody can learn it, right? So yeah, so of course, no object-oriented well back then, but you guys can really, relate. It's really easy. I made me a coffee and it was so bad. We bought this illy Brazilian from Amazon, but apparently it's spoiled for some reason. So I changed it for Ethiopia. Yeah, much better. All right, so let's talk about this. All right, so what do we have here? So this is your playground. You can put stuff on it. This is the form. So when you run that, and you see, this is what actually I don't know if I explained that, but when you run, this is what you see. But you cannot do anything. You cannot click, because you didn't do anything. You didn't add commands. The only command you add is when the form loads. Do that. So this is called, and this is important. So this is called an event. An event is nothing but a method. It's a method. See, it starts with private sub and it ends with end sub, right? But it's a special method because it handles something in the form class. If you notice that this is also a class, this is just a regular class like the one we did, but this class is treated a bit differently. It has some hidden code that I'm gonna show you later in the episodes, but this is a form, and it some sort of inheritance. We're gonna talk about inheritance. It inherits from a further object that has tons of code, or that's not actually shown here, but all these methods say, it tells us, hey, when someone start the program, call the form load and let them do stuff on it. Not only that, let them call the form. See, when you click here, when you go here, form one events, this event, when you click here, you can do all sorts of things when the form starts. Like, what do you want to do when someone clicks on the form? Let's do that. Whenever you click that, a method will pop up. See, form one click. By the way, you cannot just write form one click. You have to do it this way, or you say handles me.click. We're gonna talk about that, but for now, just do it the way I explained it, right? So you double click, go here, and pick up what you want. A method will spawn. All right, and you can obviously change the method name, but let's go slowly. All right, let's not complicate stuff. I want you to run this. So form load is the code that get executed when the form loads, right? Form click is the command that get executed when someone clicks on the form anywhere in the form. So let's do that. Someone clicked on the damn phone. Who clicked on my damn phone? So when you run the price of this pizza, because we have code written here, but we didn't get this message, someone click on our phone, right? So I'm gonna do now. See, I just click and someone click on my phone. The beauty of this, you can do it over and over again. You get some idea? Stuff you can do, right? Click, execute a code. Click, execute a code. click QR code, and we're gonna learn all kind of beautiful kind of codes, you know. But no, but we don't really do stuff when you click on the form. But I just want to show you that you can, right? And there are tons of things that you can play with, right? Uh, shall I explain them all? We can explain them one by one. So I can explain a few of them, like mouse down. These are very important, by the way. Mouse double click, when someone double clicks on the phone. Right? Someone double clicked on me. Click doesn't do anything. I don't know if you guys see the click. Sometimes I do stuff that it circles the click, but I don't know. Now I'm gonna double click. See, someone double clicked. So imagine the granularity you can do, stuff you can do, tons of stuff. You can interact with the mat with the form, but this is not how I teach programming. Okay, I don't just play and do message tests and stuff. We write real code. All right, guys, we write real projects. All right, even if you don't know programming, we associate it with real life projects. We're gonna save the world with our pizza program. Okay, we're gonna do something. All right. Now we're gonna learn about controls. So this is your first control. It's called a form. How about that? But you can add more to your control. How? When you go to the left, there's something called Toolbox here. See? You click on it, and you can see all your controls here. This is how you show it in case you closed it by accident. View, Toolbox. You go to Toolbox, and let's add our famous so all these controls. Imagine whatever you see on applications, software, like buttons, checkboxes, drop down list, all kind of these beautiful controls. Let's add a button. A button is basically a control, all right? So well, let's explain that. Right? So when you add a button here, you just basically click on it and drag it, and you say where. See this plus side, where you want to put it. I want to put it here, right? It says button 1, right? I want you to pay attention to the system.windows.forms.button. So button, the actual button, this is nothing but a class. How about that? But you cannot see it here, obviously. But there's some class called button, and what you're doing here, you just created an object called button1 of type button, like we did with the pizza. So we have a pizza class, and you created a new pizza. But this code again, it's hidden. But I guarantee you that this is what's going to happen. This is what's happening in the background. So, okay, can I add 2 buttons? I feel like stupid. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like okay, but I just like to talk like that, just to explain that. Can I add 2 buttons? Yes, we can. You have to say yes, we can. We can add 2 buttons. Can we add 3 buttons? Yes, we can. Hey, Barney, let's add another button. Yay! So we have 4 buttons here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wrong. Should be this way. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4. These are boring names. Can I change them? Yes, you can. There's something called a control has properties. When you click on that, you go here, you see properties, and I'm gonna show you how you view that in case we close, because I know, guys, you're gonna close it because it happened to me, but I don't know how I should. I think, yeah, view code properties, right? To click properties in case you closed it. Okay, So the first thing I want to change, there are a lot of stuff you can change, the color, play with these guys. And we're gonna come to them when we need them. I cannot explain every single thing, okay? But I can explain whatever we're gonna use, right? So I'm gonna use this now, button 1. Button 1, I want to change it to something else, right? Let's call it create new pizza. I want, see, when I name it this, create new, obviously this is small enough, doesn't show the text, so you can, how about that, you can actually make this bigger. That's what she said, right? Yeah, you go here and you have a button that does something, right? Create a new pizza, button 1, but we still didn't add any codes, right? So let's add some codes to these. When I click on create a new pizza, message box, create new pizza button called. See, whenever you double click on that, by default the event click gets added. Again, guys, you can do so much other stuff, but obviously a button, you have to click on a button, right, to do stuff, right? All right. And we're gonna talk about interaction between different ones. So button 2, message box, someone clicked on button 2. Button 4, message box, someone clicked on button 4. See, these are all objects, by the way, button 4, button 2, button 3, but they are hidden. Someone created an object of type button for objects, right? So just to show you the idea, I hate doing this, but this is the first time you guys see I mean, some of you might have seen it, but I have to explain it anyway, right? So run that. So we have button 2, button 4. Now we can interact with these. Someone created a new pizza. Someone clicked on button 2. And so on, right? You get the idea. So you have buttons now. You have stuff on it. Let's just delete all this crap. Right? And just delete this. You can just basically right click and delete these. Right? So we talked about buttons. What I want to do now, we talked about controls. That's it. I'm not going to show another control. I'm going to start writing my application now, right? We know about programs. Now I mean about controls. Now let's do an application. Now what are we doing here in the load? We're doing something called what? So we're adding cheese, adding another cheese, adding onion, and adding meat. All these kind of. Is there an add chicken? I don't know. There's an add chicken. There's an add chicken. So each single one method here can be translated to a button, right? And we have a get price, right? So get me this price. And the final one is then create a new pizza, right? So first you create a new pizza and then you start adding stuff to it. How about we try it? Let's do that. So first, let's do a button called in the text create new pizza. And I want another button here called add cheese. And then you can, by the way, copy and paste stuff if you're bored. Add cheese. What do we have? Add onion. Paste. Keep pasting. Whenever you paste, just they increment the name of the button. You know, this is the actual object name, and you can change that, by the way. Okay, add onion, add cheese, add. Do you have mushroom? Add meat. Let's make it simple. Alright, simple. So simple. I only tell you when it's half time. Alright. So add cheese, add onion, add meat, add chicken, sue me. I'm not gonna do the rest. Alright. Create new pizza. Alright. You know what? Let's just we most important one, yeah. Most important one is the get price. Calculate the price, you know. And then how about that? Let's do that. Let's do that. All right. So now, when you click new pizza, we want to create a new pizza. So let's first remove all these code. Right. Right click, comment. How about that? You can do that. I swear I was able to do that one day. Fuck that. Comment that. All right. So first thing, when I click here, I want to create a new object of type pizza. So remember, them one pizza as pizza equal new pizza. So I'm making a mistake here now, right? And I want you to discover what is it. So one pizza equal new. And now I want to add cheese to that pizza. There's a mistake here. I don't know if you figured it out, but let's do that. When I double click add cheese, I will say one pizza. What? Where is this? Why does it have to complete? What is going on? One pizza is not declared. Remember that? Because it's not seen. You created a pizza and a local variable for this method, but you didn't expose it to everyone. How do we fix that? We make that a modular variable. Okay, guys. Private pizza equal new. You can just as pizza. Okay, we just declared an object of type pizza here, but we didn't. No, this is we declare a variable, a pointer to of type pizza, but we didn't set it to anything. We talked about this, right? This error, remember? You get so now when someone clicks on create a new pizza, you can just basically say pizza equal new pizza. Just freshen it up. Whatever it was before, set it to something else, to something new. And now you go and say pizza.add cheese. How about that? We just added a cheese to our pizza. And then add cheese, add onion, pizza.add onion. Alright. Pizza.add meat. Pizza.add chicken. And then calculate the price. Give me the price and a message box. So message box pizza.getPrice. So you guys understand what's going on here? So first time we have to run this to create a new pizza and then add stuff and then get the price, right? But you'll see a lot of things that are just weird here, okay? So this is not how an actual program looks, right? But all right, so for example, I create a new pizza, nothing happens. Why? Because it's an internal operation. We didn't actually show something. Something happened, all right, but we didn't see it. So add cheese, something happened. We add one cheese now. Let's add one meat, and then click get the price, and we see the price now. All right. So you can keep adding. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a lot of stuff. So of course you can keep adding, get the price, but that's it's not very intuitive, right? You have to click to get a price. I mean, so much wrong stuff, right? Another something bad is when I first started, first thing, don't do anything, right? Just go and add cheese. What do you think will happen? You didn't click create new pizza, so the pizza by default is set to nothing, to null, to no object at all. So when you click that, it says, what the hell, man? You just broke the system. Right? Why? Because someone didn't create a pizza. So by default, we can disable all these, make them not enabled. Nobody can click on them. So this is the first interaction we're gonna do, right? So by default, when the form starts, all these should be disabled. So how can we do it? What did I say? When the form starts, right? When the form starts, disable all these. How can I do that? Well, when the form starts, that means form load. I can do add some code here. Okay, what is the code? Disable the buttons. Okay, these buttons, this is called button 2, button 3, button 4. I'm reading here, by the way. Button 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and of course 6 too. So all these should be disabled, you know. So button, you just say when your form starts, button 2 dot, and you treat it like an object. Look at all these beautiful properties. Remember, we created like 3 or 4 properties and methods, right? But this is an already created class for you, right? You can use it. You can do so much stuff with it. And for now, you're gonna just use the method called enabled, and we say equal false. This is a variable that we didn't talk about. It's called Boolean. You can declare variables of type string. We learned about integer. And there's something called Boolean. Boolean, when you say Boolean, can only be true or false. Is this true or is this false? And this is very important when we go to conditions. We're going to talk about conditions maybe in the next episode or the next one. I don't remember. So button 2.enable equal false. Let's start with that just. Okay? How about that? I can't click on this anymore, but I still can click on those, right? So what we do, we go to the rest, button 3.enable equal false, button 4.enable equal false, button 6, 5.enable equal false, buttons. I think I did something wrong. See, these are very bad names. You don't know what's going on, right? So these are all the buttons, right? Let's learn how to give them proper names so we can know what the hell they are, right? So add cheese, you go and it's called button 2. This is the first property that we change is text. We can go to the name, which is anywhere here. It's called name. And see, you cannot change this, and this is only in design time, by the way. So this is design time. I'm designing my form, okay? And the name, you can only change it in design time. You cannot go and say button2.name equals something else. I think you can. You can. I'm sorry. But the variable, actual variable, you can when you auto create it. Let's not talk about this topic. This is very advanced. All right. So let's call it. Usually, when we do buttons, previously they were called commands. So we say CMD and the thing, like add cheese. Now it's button. So you button BTN. 3 first letter of the thing, so you know what is it, and then you say add cheese. Usually this is how you name buttons, you name controls in general. Let's do the same with onions. Button add onion, button add meat, button add chicken, button calculate price, and this is button create pizza. See, I just named all these in a very nice name so we can find them easily. We know where they are when we are in the code. When you go back to the code, you noticed these are already changed. How about that? This is thank you Visual Basic Studio for doing this. So usually previously you have to go and rename them yourself, but when you rename it there, they just go and rename it for you here. All right, so I really wish an error had happened, so we can learn about that. But see, I changed the name of these, but the method didn't change. Why? Because you can name the method whatever you want. This is just the name that came with it, and they will not change method names. Of course, you have to go. But see, what it handles changes. So this handles button create pizza.click. This method handles button add cheese.click, and so on. Alright, so pizza equal new pizza, pizza.add cheese, and you can go just call this create new pizza on click. It doesn't have to have underscore. It will work. Alright. Now we're gonna go and create a new pizza. Alright. Now when I create a new pizza, I expect this to go back enabled because I have a pizza now ready. Like imagine me with a dough and flipping it over my head, like a pizza guy, whatever. Do they even do the pizza this way? I don't know. I just see them in cartoons and movies. I don't know if anybody like flip pizzas in the air and shit. I don't know. So I know we have to create new pizza. We have to enable them back. So how do we do that? Again, listen to me. When we create a new pizza, they have to be enabled back. So there's an event. So when I say when, or these now, they are not nouns. God damn it. They are, I don't know what they call them. Okay, something in English. All right. So when, I don't know. I forgot. Proverbs. No. God damn it. English. All right. Create new pizza. When you click and create new pizza, I want to enable my buttons. All right. So you can be a good guy, good boy, and go and just put in cheese that enabled equal true. And you can be a bad boy, copy and paste and shit. That's how we do it in the hood. We copy and paste. But you have to turn them to true. Alright guys. 3 node, yes, that's what we want. Alright. By default, no one can fuck up with you now and I click this, so it crashes. So someone had to click. Oh, how about that? I want to calculate the price directly. There's a 3 flat fee, $3. I think this is the crust that we added, right? You can add chicken, add meat, but it's so wrong. I mean, how do I know what did I add? I mean, I need to see something here that tells me, hey, you added cheese, this much portions of cheese, right? This much portions of onion, this much portions of meat. How do I do that? You came to the right goddamn place to know that, son. We're gonna teach you that just right. Let's do that. Back in the time, you guys are spoiled. Takes you like fraction of seconds to compile. Used to take us 3 goddamn weeks to compile a fucking 5 code lines. It's bad, bro. I don't know anything like that, but I would imagine someone from the 50s would say that. Yeah, so let's add a text box. Yeah, a text box is something that you can interact with, right? But I don't want a text box. Okay, we talked about text boxes. We didn't talk about text boxes. Shall I add a text box? Well, text box is a very important thing. All right, let's add a label. A label's nice. Let's see a label. Label can be used for so much stuff, You can, when you add a label, you can click on a label, you can interact with the label, and you can just use it for labeling. Really, it does its job. Okay, don't do that. Yeah, label one. It says cheese portions. Right, I'm gonna use. This is how you spell portions. Portions. God damn it. This is, we say price. This is a cheese portion. This is a chicken, poulet, on chicken. This is meat, bœuf. En français, oui. This is onion. I forgot what onion is in français. Cheese is fromage. Oui. Now we add this one like this, and we do it like that. We do it like that, and then now this is our labels. Now we have to add another labels to actually show the stuff here, right? So let's add another label, and I like my labels bold. Ha ha ha. Oh my God. That was so hardcore. So you can change your labels to bold, right? Copy paste. Copy paste. Copy paste. Copy paste. All right. So now we give them nice names. We don't care about these names. See, I'm not gonna rename this because we're gonna not interact with them, right? But feel free to be a good boy and rename them. I'm a bad boy, right? All right. So they are still label 1, label 5, label 7. But these I'm gonna rename. Okay. And we go to the name because we're gonna interact with them in the map. I know you're going to not in the map. I keep saying map because I'm working with ArcGIS. LBL cheese portion. So LBL, same concept. LBL label, no? And then here you're gonna say LBL onion portions, and then here LBL meat portions. LBL chicken. I'm sorry guys who are vegetarian. My sister is a vegetarian. She's very hardcore vegetarians. But I'm not gonna add veggies pizzas now. Maybe in the future we're gonna support that functionality to add veggies to my pizza. But now we have chicken. But actually, wait, you can make your own pizza here. Don't add meat and chicken. Okay. Label price. That's important. Let's make them nice and together. Right. See, guys, I think I'm gonna share this code with you. The previous episode we didn't share the code because we didn't have code. I mean, there was boring code back then. So now I'm gonna set all these to 0. All right. How do I do that? You can do it the good way, like a good boy. You click on that, go to the text property, set it to 0. You're gonna do it the nasty way. You can go from the code and the load. From the code and the load. See the rhyme? Alright, so LBL cheese portion the text equal not text equals 0. You have to do it this way because text is a string property. You know, we're over this, guys. All right, we know what a string is, what all these things. It's just same things. Just they are properties now. Okay, you can do it this nasty way, or you can do it the bad way. We bad. We gangsters. You just select all of them. They will all be selected. You come here in the text, you type 0 and you hit enter. This is the bad way. No, they're not bad. This is actually a good way. Just take it. Whatever, you know, there are a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, you can choose your poison, right? All right. So, by the way, we have to change this form 1. This is ugly. Same thing, guys. Form 1 is another control. It has properties. Text say creating your pizza, right? That's just better, right? So when I click here, what I want to do here, these are briefable by default. These are cheese portion, all zeros. And I click here, these will be enabled. When I click add cheese, I want to add these portions, increase these portions, right? Nothing happens because we didn't obviously write code, and we don't want this stupid message box anymore. We want to show the price here. How do we do that? Very simple. Cheese. I think if you reach here and you finish this episode, you can go and write almost any program you want. All right. We didn't talk about conditions, but you're set to write stuff, man. I mean, you can imagine all these kind of things you can do. Really. Right? You don't even need a class. I mean, you can go and that. But I want to tackle it from an object-oriented point of view, so you know object-oriented because they're very useful. All right, so after you add cheese, we're gonna increment the LBL cheese portion. All right, LBL cheese portion. That text. So there is a way to do that. Okay, so you can do this. For example, LBL cheese portion dot text. You can take this value and set it to a variable, right? So let's call it cheese portions as integer, obviously, right? Cheese portions as integer, I'm gonna set it the text, the current one, so it's 0, right? By the first time you click, it's 0, all right? You get that, and then you take that variable, cheese portion, and you add 1 to it, obviously, because you added 1, right? And then what you do is basically you set back the cheese portion the text equal the new cheese portion, right? Got it? So this is 0, 0, set it to this cheese piece is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1, set it to this. The next time you click, this is 1. So take the 1, set it here in this local variable, add 1 to it, it's 2, 2, set it back to 0. But this is correct, but this is the bad way to do things. We don't want to do that, right? Why? Because this is exactly the opposite what I'm talking about. You're writing code outside of the class that is supposed to do the job. You know, you are not supposed to calculate the cheese portions outside. See, we are in the form. Why the hell are you calculating the cheese portions outside of the pizza class? It should be done there. You are already adding cheese to the pizza class, and then outside your calculator, and I've seen these mistakes in every program I review. Advanced programs I'm talking multi-million code, right? I'm seeing this. Why? Because it works. See, I'm gonna run that and it will work. See, it works. But there is a problem with that. Why? Because you just took the code from its mother and you're executing it outside. You know, it becomes unmaintainable now. Now you have to change it here in the form. I mean, if you want to take this code back, it all kind of mess. You don't want to do that. That's bad, right? So that's bad. So what's the good correct method then, Hussein? Well, the correct method is to ask the pizza class give me the portions of the cheese. Give me the cheese portions. You have to write method to return the cheese portion because, how about that? We have this variable in the pizza class. It's there. We just have to return it. Really? So how do we do that? We create a property, guys. Very simple. Let's do that. Okay, so let's do that to create a properties, and perhaps we're gonna take this chance to do a read-only property. Properties that you cannot set, but you can read, and you can only control using this add cheese method, right? So property tap tap tap. Remember, and this is an integer. When you type integer, it changes all these integers. I don't want the set, so I'm just deleting this. And we're gonna we have this variable, so we're gonna remove that. And it's called not renew property. It's called, and it have to be called get. I'll just call it cheese portions. Don't have to say get because there is a get. I know this is the get cheese portion. And then what do we return this cheese portion? We return cheese portions. Right? There's an error that XP is nagging on. Why? Because it says properties without read only or write only specifier must have get and set. Right? I remove the set, so you have to add read only here. I don't know. It's just either before or after. I remember. Is it public property read only or public read only? Public something like that. Yeah, there you go. So we have public property read only cheese portions, right? It returns an integer, right? If we have any errors, you have errors outside. So all I have to do is just copy and paste instead of cheese portion, onion portions, paste. Well, we have meat, I think. Meat portions. Chicken portions. What else do we have? Cheese, onion, meat, and chicken. Four stuff. All right, so lots of. Now this is the good way. You have to add pizza. After you add cheese, give me the cheese portions and set them to text lbl cheese portions dot text. I don't calculate anything here. I don't do anything here. Just take the value, set it. Now this should work. That's a cleaner way of doing things. You outsourced the method that does the calculation of the portions to its owner. Who owns this? The pizza class owner. Don't go write code here, right? Whenever you start writing code in the form, things can get ugly, you know. It's just, it will work and people will be happy with your code, but I mean with whatever you've done, but developers that will go after you will basically curse you. Don't do that. Okay, so onion portions dot text equal pizza dot onion portions. Very simple, right? Very simple. By the way, when you try to set that, like you try to set the pizza portion to something else, onion portions, you get an error. This is read only. You can't change that, and it's useful if you don't want to set people to set properties like directly. You have to go through a method like this. This is useful sometimes. This is one example. You want to control this, all right? We have meat portions. You got the idea, guys. The text equal this. Almost done. We're almost done here. LBL chicken. We talked about methods. We talked about events. We talked about UI most of all. And now we can do all sort of good stuff. Nice. Now the most important thing is that let's try that. I create new add cheese. Wow, how about that? Nice. But we don't know the prices of these. We can add a label here just to like with the constant values, just put the flat times whatever the actual price. We can even more clever and add label that read the actual prices from the pizza class. Don't ever hard code. This is bad, by the way. Whatever I said is bad. So what I was about to do is I want to copy that and I want to go to the label and write the price of the label here. So $2 or $3. That's bad. You don't hard code things here. Okay. Alright, so let's do the final thing. Calculate price. We don't know the message. We want LBL price dot text is equal to pizza dot calculate price. Get price. How about that? No messages now. 3.6. Add. It's outdated. Okay. Add. It's outdated. You have to calculate. Now you can get even fancier and fancier. Like whenever you add cheese or onion, you automatically calculate the price, without clicking a button to calculate the price. I want a lot of chicken. Give me a lot of chicken. Well, that's one expensive. All right, you can add fancy stuff. Okay, let's add this final thing. We're done, right? So in the text, we are setting the price, right? So if it's $5, just the text will show 5, right? But I want to be fancy. I want to add a dollar sign before the price. So you do that and you do and. That means take the dollar sign, add it, concatenation. It's called concatenation. Concatenate it with the value of this, right? If you're in C#, by the way, this would have thrown an error because this is a double, this is a string, and in C# you cannot concatenate double and string. You have to manually convert this into a string and then concatenate with this. It's fine. It can sometimes catches error, but I mean, it's easier this way. Let's face it. This is a human-friendly stuff. I'm not a big fan of C#. People will maybe rage on me on this, but I like VB. I mean, VB is intuitive. It doesn't ask me to do stuff and force me to do all these kind of things. I mean, yeah, I want to concatenate the string and variable. That's fine. Some people find it very offensive to do that. You can't just mix two different kind of variable types. But that was like what, 1988? I mean, computers has evolved. We could get over it and do something, focus on something better. I mean, let the compiler does this stuff, worry about it, and then you will. I mean, this can introduce errors, but in my career, like 10, 11 years career, I always coded in VB. I never code this as a problem. It didn't give me a hard time. Concatenating string and double and floats. Anyway, so let's create a new pizza and cheese. Nice. That's nice. Right? So what does this do? Takes the dollar sign, which is a string, and concatenate it with the price. You can basically do anything you want here. You can add a space for see, just added a space before that. All right, guys, I think that's all for me today, and hope you enjoyed it. We did some good work today. We did a good work, right? In the next episode, we're gonna talk about what are we gonna talk about? Oh, I had a lot of stuff in mind. So we're gonna enrich this, maybe this experience, make it better, better and better. So there's a lot of stuff to do here. Still, the interface needs work. Our class needs work. We need to add more functionality to it. Wow, there are a lot of things to do, man. So we're gonna we're gonna tackle it in the next time, guys. I'm gonna record more and more episodes of this until we finish this series, all right? So we can go back and do other stuff. All right, guys, you stay awesome. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Goodbye.